Tuesday, October 16th, 2012, started out just like any other day for the residents of Williamson, West Virginia. It was a picture-perfect fall day without a cloud in the sky. For hundreds of people in the area, it soon became a day that they would never forget. Around 3 p.m. that afternoon, people started noticing something strange in the sky. There was an extremely bright light right in the center of the blue sky. It appeared to be about the size of a commercial jet, but it was not moving. It kept getting brighter and dimmer as it hovered over the small town. News of the object spread like a wildfire throughout the community. It didn't take long for calls to start coming into the local newspaper office, the Williamson Daily News. Klovern, UFO researcher, investigator, and author, is a journalist at the Daily News.
I had actually taken a break, took a long lunch that day. My wife had a doctor's appointment, I took her to that, and then so I go back into the office. As soon as I go in, one of the other reporters, "Man, where you been?" said, "Somebody just called and said there's this object over near Williamson," and actually it was somebody she knew that worked on the local railroad yard here, and as he and some of the other employees had gotten off work, they saw it. So they called the newspaper to see if I was there to tell me about it. Well, I just sit down at my desk and was talking to her, and about 5 minutes later, another lady calls and from in Williamson and saying, "I just thought I should call you and let you know, since we know you're interested in UFOs, we see an object and we're looking at it right now." I said, "Oh man, I've got to go outside and look." So I go out on the street there, right in downtown Williamson, and I saw these guys. There's an automotive place right across the street from the newspaper, and all these guys were standing over there. They were looking up at it, and of course I go across the street and I see it too, and I mean, it's just amazing. So I run in and get my camera, and we watched it for a long time, and I would go back into the office and I called my wife at home. I'd tell her to get the binoculars and go out to see if she could see it, and she did. And then I continued to go outside, and we watched it for a couple of hours. I mean, it just hovered there for a long time. It would get bright, and then it would fade out a little bit, and then get bright and fade out again. And then what amazed me, saw a couple of jets go right by it. You know, you saw the contrails, or the chemtrails, if you want to call them that. And I bet I counted 25 jets that kept flying by this thing, which I think is interesting in itself. You know, I couldn't tell if they're military jets, but they were flying close by this, and it was just amazing.
I was also at work at a local grocery store when Kyle called to tell me about the object. He said, "You got to get out to the parking lot as soon as you can and see this UFO. I'm looking right at it right now. You should be able to see it from up there." I went out, but all I saw were the chemtrails.
After my wife saw it with binoculars, she called and told me, she said it looked like a cylinder, cigar-shaped. Well, of course, I thought maybe she meant it was running horizontal, but it was actually going vertical, up and down.
The object stayed in the sky in the same spot for about 3 hours.
Another lady called me, or she sent me messages on Facebook. She was describing it as a mirror, you know, which I thought was interesting, how it would get bright, and you know, that started me thinking about something, another interdimensional maybe, kind of theory. So, you know, there's just a lot of theories out there right now.
It was obvious that this was not an airplane or any type of balloon.
In and around town, I heard there were some construction workers. They're adding on to the local community college down there. Some of those guys saw it. And it was all different vantage points, I mean, from a wide area.
Everyone thought that the object was only seen in Williamson. As they turned on the evening news that night, they learned that it was much bigger and higher than anyone could have imagined. An amateur astronomer in Virgie, Kentucky, Alan Epling, captured stunning images of the object with his telescope. He saw and recorded a video of the object at the exact same time that it was being seen in Williamson, around 3 p.m. He estimated the object to be anywhere from 40 to 100,000 feet high.
And then I was talking to another journalist that works for a paper over in Pikeville, Kentucky, and he said that they got some calls and reports that they saw it over there too, and in Elkhorn City, Kentucky. So you're talking, that's 30 miles in one direction and probably 40 miles in the other direction. So this thing was seen in a wide area, and so, you know, it's hard to say how many witnesses there were to this object.
Though we hadn't formally started our UFO hunters group, the Appalachian UFO Research Society, at that time, Kyle, myself, and Mark Corbin stayed in constant contact with each other throughout the night, sharing any information that developed from the case. We quickly concluded that there would have had to have been two objects. It didn't make sense to us that the same object would be over two towns 45 minutes apart from each other at the same time. The object seen over Williamson was drifting south, but the object seen over Virgie had more of a southwestern drift to it. The shapes looked different in Kyle's photo from the Virgie video. And the biggest piece of evidence of all to support our claim that there was two objects was the fact that chemtrails were everywhere over Williamson, but Alan Epling did not see any chemtrails in Virgie. If chemtrails were 40,000 feet high or so, they should have been visible in Virgie too, because they were roughly the same height as the object. Over the next few days, news surfaced that a similar object was seen in several states along the East Coast. The object was seen in Alabama and parts of Tennessee on October 15th. It was seen in West Virginia, Kentucky, and parts of Virginia and Tennessee on October 16th. It was spotted over other parts of Virginia on October 17th, and in New York on October 18th. The National UFO Reporting Center lists several reports of these objects. Mark theorized that the object seen over Virgie was something of a mothership, and that the object seen over Williamson was some sort of smaller drone that came from it. I thought the objects were some sort of device used by HAARP to harness Hurricane Sandy. It seems a little too convenient to me that the states hit by Sandy were the states that witnessed these strange objects in the sky just a few days before the hurricane hit. These objects have been seen as early as 2001, and the sightings have not stopped since October 2012. In November 2012, a similar object was recorded going directly into a volcano in Mexico. It's as if the object was using the volcano as some sort of fuel. There was an object like it returning to the volcano on February 21st, 2013. Mark found this photo of a similar object taken in Germany in March 2013. It is the only known nighttime image captured of an object like this. On May 31st, 2013, someone recorded a stunning video in Mexico City, Mexico, that captured a similar object dropping small orbs over the city. The video supports Mark's theory, as it does appear to be deploying some sort of drones. Another one of these objects was seen on October 18th, 2013, once again in Mexico. This one was photographed near the village of Anuak. In August 2013, Google claimed that the object was one of their balloons used for Project Loon, their method of providing a free worldwide Wi-Fi system. As you can clearly see though, the balloons used by Google look nothing at all like the object seen in the sky in October 2012. Google representatives themselves have even admitted that their balloons can only be seen with telescopes. Hundreds, if not thousands of people saw the object with their naked eye in October 2012. There is no possible way for a balloon to hover in one spot for 3 hours without being ripped to shreds by the winds in the jet stream. Whether the objects seen in October 2012 were man-made or from some other planet remains to be seen. Until the day comes when someone can give hardcore evidence as to what the object was, it will remain an unidentified flying object.